Revealed, how a millionaire CEO's son chose the maid as his mother, an incredible, heartwarming discovery. In the plush suburb of Maplewood, where the glossy sheen of wealth oozed from every spacious mansion, 17-year-old Ryan Lombardi wrestled with the glittering facade of his life. His father, Mr. Lombardi, the titan of a corporate empire, cast an enormous shadow, making Ryan feel small and entrapped in gilded expectations. Though his family dripped with money, laughter and warmth were the real treasures missing from their lavish home. But then there was Sofia, their devoted maid, a heart full of compassion, a fierce spirit wrapped in kindness. Every afternoon, tucked away in the dusty corners of the library, they bonded over worn-out copies of classic novels. Their shared love for stories of hope and defiance illuminated the darkness Ryan felt inside. A grin cracked his solemn face as Sofia recounted tales of characters who overcame everything stacked against them. Each whispered conversation wrapped around Ryan like the coziest blanket, warming him against the chill of his father's ambitions. He found solace in her laughter, a brief balm for the bruises left by his father's relentless pressure. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. But the serene bubble they created was about to burst. One chilling evening, whispers of scandal rippled through their affluent community like wildfire. Ryan's father faced accusations that threatened to shatter their family name. Rumor had it that Mr. Lombardi's ruthless climb to power involved unsavory practices that would send shockwaves through Maplewood. The very stability of the Lombardi legacy was at stake, and Ryan felt the pressure of the world weighing down on him like an anchor. His father's ultimatum slapped Ryan in the face one stormy night: choose between his motherly figure Sofia or the family he was supposed to uphold. You don't have a future with her, Ryan. This is not how we keep our name. The choice tore through him, sharper than the darkest knife. He could still hear Sofia's voice echoing in his mind, reminding him why he felt alive. As rumors buzzed louder, Ryan stood frozen. Would he abandon the one person who truly showed him love, for a father whose heart had grown cold beneath layers of ambition? Just when it seemed he could stay buried in uncertainty, an unexpected betrayal pulled at the threads of his understanding. The neighborhood closed ranks like a fortress around the Lombardis, making Ryan feel more isolated than ever. Staring into the abyss of his family's secrets, Ryan found the resolve igniting within. Sofia's quiet strength became his anchor in the storm. In that darkest moment, clarity struck him. He had a choice to make. Would he continue to mask his heart's voice beneath a veneer of privilege? Or could he find the courage to stand up for love, the kind that transcends social class? With his heart pounding, Ryan prepared to face the man who loomed large in his life. As tension crackled in the air around them, he knew this was the moment everything would change forever. The choice loomed over him like a storm cloud, heavy with unanswered questions. Would he dare defy his father for the sake of his true family, the one built from love and hope, not gold? Ryan stepped into the grand foyer, the sound of his footsteps echoing like thunder in the stillness. The opulence surrounding him felt suffocating, the marble floors gleamed under the soft glow of crystal chandeliers, but he saw through the glitter. In that moment, everything felt hollow. He clenched his fists, determination flooding his veins as he spotted his father in the den. Lombardi was a mountain of a man, an iron-willed figure commanding respect, but today his formidable presence felt less like a shield and more like a storm warning. As Ryan approached, he could feel the static energy crackling between them. His father looked up from a stack of documents, a frown hammering deep lines into his forehead. "You've been spreading rumors, Ryan?" he asked, voice sharp, like cut glass. "It's not a rumor if it's true," Ryan shot back, fierce and unyielding. "Stay in your lane," Mr. Lombardi warned, rising from his leather chair, his eyes narrowing. "You don't understand, do you?" Ryan pressed on, fearlessness burning bright within him. "It's not just about the business or the facade anymore. It's about people. It's about love." The words hung in the air, heavy with implications. His father's face darkened, and for a moment, Ryan thought he might shatter under that gaze. Love? This isn't a fairy tale. You think you can build a life on that woman? Sofia was that woman to Mr. Lombardi, someone to be dismissed and belittled, someone who worked in their home rather than shared their name. It ignited a fire in Ryan, a raging inferno of loyalty and defiance. "She is more of a mother to me than you've ever been." Silence enveloped the space. His words landed with a thud, echoing through years of unvoiced fears and silent resentment. The air seemed to crackle, charged with emotion. Ryan's heart raced as he braced for the storm to hit. Would his father explode, or would he clam up, retreating into cool indifference? For once, he saw a flicker of vulnerability cross Mr. Lombardi's stern face. "You're too blinded by your feelings to see the bigger picture," he warned, the edge in his voice faltering. "Maybe it's time I stop looking at your picture," Ryan declared, feeling that courage seep into his bones. "This legacy you cling to isn't what I want. You fight for power and wealth, but I want connection. I want honesty. I want a family." Ryan's declaration poured out like an overflowing dam. The words tumbled and rolled, filled with every ounce of pain and longing he had buried deep within. As he finished, he took a breath, feeling weightless, like a balloon let go into the open sky. Lombardi's jaw tightened, and for a moment, Ryan feared he would lash out. But then something shifted, a dim spark in his father's eyes, the faintest hint of recognition. "You'll regret this, Ryan. Families aren't built on dreams. They're built on power." His voice was a low growl, a storm still swirling beneath the surface. Ryan stood firm, feeling the energy pulsate around them. "Maybe it's time I start building my own." With that, he turned on his heel and walked rhythmically toward the front door, his heart thumping wildly in his chest. Each step felt liberating, and yet, doubt clawed at him. The reality of calling Sofia his family unearthed the fear of losing everything else, but could he really turn his back on the only person who understood him? As Ryan's hand reached for the door, a thunderous roar echoed behind him, drowning his thoughts. His father was calling his name, and it felt both a plea and a warning. In that split second, Ryan knew he had to choose his life. Would he face the world without the safety net of his father's empire, or would he cling to a faltering legacy that hardly felt like home? As he took a deep breath, the weight of the decision pressed heavily on his shoulders. Every heartbeat thundered in his ears, drowning out all thoughts except one: what would he risk for love? And out there, beyond that door, awaited the truth he was desperate to embrace. Would he step out into the unknown and redefine his legacy, or would he allow fear to bind him to a gilded cage? Ryan paused, hand hovering over the doorknob, his heart racing. He could feel the intensity radiating from his father's voice, a palpable force that threatened to pull him back. The chain of legacy and expectation burdened him like the weight of the marble ceiling above, yet his yearning for freedom was even heavier. "Ryan." Mr. Lombardi's voice broke through the thick tension, helpless but commanding. "Think for a moment about what you're doing." What was there to think about? Ryan's mind raced through all the moments that had led him to this precipice. Memories of laughter with Sofia, her warm embrace after a long day, the way her gentle voice soothed his restless heart. He could already hear the echo of their shared hopes, the dreams they had painted together, simple yet so vivid. With a surge of defiance, he turned around, facing his father with resolve. I'm thinking about a life filled with love, not just power. A life where I can stand by those I care about, not just those who share the same name." The room felt heavy, charged with the tension of their opposing worlds. Mr. Lombardi's face twisted in disbelief, his expression morphing from anger to something softer, unsettling. You don't know what you'll lose, he warned, a hint of desperation creeping into his voice, as if reaching for a thread of hope he feared could snap. Maybe I do, Ryan replied softly but firmly. But that's not my only choice. I want more. I want the kind of life where I don't have to hide who I care about, where I can love and be loved freely. A beat of silence hung between them, both men grappling with their understanding of love and sacrifice. The strong walls that separated them for so long felt like they were crumbling, just enough to reveal the pain hiding within. You'd throw it all away for her? Mr. Lombardi's voice was a whisper now, full of incredulity. Not for her. For me, Ryan countered, feeling his strength solidify. For the chance to not just exist but to live. His father took a step back, the betrayal painting his features with confusion. You think she can give you everything? I know she can. More than you ever could, Ryan said, grappling with the storm inside him. It's not all about money and power. What I need is here, he placed a hand over his heart, emotion flooding his features. Not in a balance sheet. For the first time, a flicker of understanding lit Mr. Lombardi's eyes. The way he stood, shoulders tense, seemed to waver slightly as if he was peering through a fog of preconceptions. It was almost as if he was searching within himself for a path forward, and Ryan clung to that hope. I want to be what you want me to be, Ryan continued, forceful, every word like a brick laid down in the foundation of a new life. I'll make my own path starting by standing by Sofia. If that's not enough for you, then I'll find a way to be okay. With a newfound sense of purpose, he turned back to the door, ready to step into his future despite the uncertainty waiting there. But before he could push it open, Mr. Lombardi's voice came once more. Ryan, do you really think this will be easy? The question lingered like a shadow, but Ryan only felt a rush of clarity. Easy? No. But it will be worth it. As he opened the door, a wave of fresh air hit him like a blanket, beckoning him into the unknown. The world outside felt expansive, filled with possibilities and challenges, the warmth of the sun promising hope ahead, but just as he stepped onto the threshold, a sudden sound made him freeze. A phone buzzed sharply from his pocket, vibrating with urgency. It was a message from Sofia. With his heart racing, he fished out the device, knowing that whatever it contained could change everything. As he glanced at the screen, a knot of anxiety twisted in his stomach. The words displayed there were simple yet staggering, and he felt ice in his veins. Ryan, I need to talk. It's important. What could be so urgent? What had happened? The moment hung precarious in the air, leaving Ryan with the haunting question, was the love he sought really ready to accept him too? And with that uncertainty looming, he found himself torn once more. Would he turn back and confront the fears that chased him, or would he plunge ahead into a future he longed for, even if it meant facing harsh truths? Ryan's heart drummed a relentless beat in his chest as he read and reread the message. Every word felt like a lifeline, pulling him toward Sofia, yet tethering him to uncertainty. 1,000 thoughts raced through his mind. Was she in trouble? Did something happen at home? Or was it something deeper, something that would change everything? He stepped back into the dimness of the house, the scent of polished marble mixing with the essence of his father's disappointment. Dad, I need to go, he said, urgency peppering his voice. The door still stood ajar, sunlight spilling into the darkened room like a promise of better things. But his feet felt heavy, anchored by looming expectations. Ryan, please. His father's words hung in the air. You don't have to do this. You can still come back. The desperation in Mr. Lombardi's voice almost broke through Ryan's resolve. Yet, the thought of abandoning Sofia, it was unthinkable. With no more words left to say, Ryan slipped into the bright afternoon outside, leaving the weight of his father's gaze behind. He navigated the familiar streets, each step pulling him closer to Sofia. His mind raced as he recalled their last moments. The warmth of her laughter, the way her eyes sparkled with life, her belief that they could weather any storm together. But deep inside, a flicker of doubt crept in. What if she wasn't ready for this life he was choosing? He reached her apartment and hesitated, the door looming in front of him like a barrier between their worlds. With a soft breath, he knocked. The sound echoed, sharp against the stillness that suffocated him. Minutes stretched into lifetimes before she finally opened the door. Her expression shifted from surprise to concern, and before she could speak, Ryan stepped inside. "Sofia, I got your message." "What's wrong?" "Oh, Ryan," she whispered, her words almost drowned by the murmur of a passing car. He could see the worry etched on her features, the way her hands fidgeted at her sides. "I didn't know if you'd come. I had to." His voice softened, turning earnest as he reached for her trembling hand. "I'll always come for you, no matter what. Just tell me what's going on." Sofia took a deep breath as if gathering strength. "It's my mother. She's in the hospital." "It's serious, Ryan." The vulnerability in her eyes pierced through him, and in that moment, he felt the ground shift. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" The question slipped from his lips, edged with concern. "I didn't want to burden you," she replied, her voice breaking. "I know your father is pressing you for a future. I didn't want you to feel tied down." Her words stung more than he anticipated. "Sofia, you are not a burden. Never think that. This is our life too, and you need me now." She looked at him, tears shimmering in her eyes. "Do you really mean that?" "Yes." His resolve hardened, the struggles he faced with his father fading to the background. "We'll get through this together. I can help. Let us go to the hospital." As they made their way out, the looming possibility of a future together felt precarious yet necessary. Each step was a reaffirmation of their bond, a signal that love could indeed withstand the trials laid before them, yet as they reached the entrance of the hospital, their moment of solidarity shattered. The stark reality hit him. Waiting inside was not just fear and potential loss, it was also an impending reckoning with their worlds and families that neither could ignore. What if his father insisted he return home, to assume the legacy he was determined to escape? Sofia squeezed his hand tightly, as if sensing his turmoil, and at that moment, Ryan realized there was no turning back. The life he yearned for was too intertwined with both their truths to abandon. With uncertainty clawing at his insides, he took a deep breath, stepping forward into the hospital's sterile light, not fully aware of how far this choice would push him and Sofia against the people who held power over their futures. But one thing was certain, this moment was just the beginning of something that would change them forever. As they entered the building, he felt a rising tension, knowing they were not just fighting for her mother's health but for their shared future that seemed increasingly fragile. Just outside the door, a familiar face glanced their way, an unexpected link to his father's world that could unravel everything they fought for. What would this meeting mean for Ryan and Sofia? Would their relationship survive the unraveling of the past? Ryan's stomach twisted as the familiar face approached. It was Lily, one of his father's business associates, her smile too wide and bright for this cold hospital setting. She was someone who belonged to the life Ryan was trying to leave behind. Ryan whispered to Sofia, "Stay close." Lily's eyes sparkled with recognition, though they quickly narrowed, assessing Sofia. "Ryan. What a surprise to see you here. I thought you were spending the summer polishing your father's empire." The words felt like a piercing arrow aimed at Ryan's newfound resolve. "Yeah, well, things change," he replied, his voice steadier than he felt. "Who's this?" Lily asked, her gaze shifting from Ryan to Sofia, who stood beside him, clutching his hand tightly. "This is Sofia. My girlfriend," Ryan asserted, his chest swelling with defiance. He had never said those words out loud before, but it felt right. A shield against the scrutiny. Lily raised an eyebrow, still calculating, but the warmth in her demeanor faltered. "Ah, the maid's daughter. Quite a choice." The words were laced with derision. Ryan's jaw clenched. The air between them grew thick. Her mother is in the hospital, Lily. This isn't the time for your judgments. Heat spread through his face as he felt Sofia tense beside him. He wished they could move beyond this confrontation and focus on her mother. Lily's eyes widened slightly, but Ryan sensed no apology was coming. Of course, she said, her voice laced with feigned sympathy. I'm sorry to hear that. I actually came to meet Mr. Lombardi. You know how it is, business first, even in places like this. With that, she brushed past them, her heels clicking relentlessly on the sterile floor as if timing an exit. Ryan exhaled slowly, the tension clinging to him like a heavy fog. Just when he thought the hospital couldn't get more intimidating, a piece of his world appeared, damn near ready to shatter everything. Sofia's grip on his hand lightened, and he turned to her, feeling his heart twist. I'm so sorry about that, he said, hating that the weight of judgment now hung in the air. Ryan, it's okay. I'm used to it, she said softly, but he could see the flicker of hurt in her eyes. It stung him to know that even in this moment of crisis, they were judged not just for their connection, but by the expectations others set on them. We'll show them, he said fiercely, his voice ringing with determination. We can make it through anything. They began walking toward the waiting area, but the doubt lingered, threatening to choke him. Minutes passed in a blur. News about Sofia's mother remained elusive. As the silence stretched, Ryan felt the weight of disquiet settle on his shoulders. He hated how the uncertainty gnawed at his insides, but more so, he loathed how easily Lily had undermined Sofia. I should have prepared you for her, Ryan admitted finally. The guilt settled like lead in his stomach. She's not the worst, but she can be difficult. Sofia turned to him, her expression softening. Ryan, we can't control what others think. We can only focus on what's in front of us, right now. Her voice, soft yet firm, grounded him. Right, he replied, the sound of her strength igniting a flicker of hope within him. When they rounded the corner, the sterile scent of antiseptic wrapped around them. In the distance, he saw a group gathered, probably waiting for news on a loved one. The tension in the space hummed, fraught with anxiety and pain. His own heart raced. Would this be their turning point? The moment things spiraled out of control, or the moment they battled through together? Suddenly, a doctor emerged from the hallway, his expression grave. Just as Ryan's heart began to pound in anticipation, a scream echoed from deep inside somewhere in their world of fear. The doctor's words were muffled, but one phrase vibrated through the air and struck both of them like a thunderbolt. I'm sorry. Ryan held his breath, dread pooling in the pit of his stomach. This wasn't just about him, it was about them, and the future he hoped to build with Sofia. Would this tragedy hope to swallow them whole or forge their bond into something sustainable? The answers felt miles away as they stepped forward, hearts colliding with uncertainty just as much as fate. But even against the chaos, one thought loomed: they had to face whatever was next, together. And in that shared resolve, a new questioning thread appeared. What would they sacrifice to save the pieces of their world? Ryan felt his heart shatter. The doctor's eyes, heavy with sorrow, told him everything he needed to know without saying another word. Silence wrapped around him and Sofia like a thick blanket, stifling any chance of relief. What do you mean? Ryan managed to croak out, his voice barely above a whisper. He gripped Sofia's hand tighter, almost as if it could give him the strength to fend off the truth that hung in the air between them. I'm sorry, the doctor repeated, his tone gentle yet firm. Your mother's condition deteriorated rapidly. We did everything we could in that moment. Ryan felt the ground beneath him shift. Thoughts of his mother's laughter, the warm embrace she used to wrap around him like a safety net, the countless sacrifices she made flashed through his mind like a movie on fast forward. She was supposed to be fighting. Sofia's eyes were wide, tears brimming. Her other hand moved to his cheek, grounding him in an impossible moment. Ryan. I'm so sorry, she whispered, her voice trembling. He couldn't respond. His world was crumbling, and instead of anger or denial, there was just a suffocating numbness. How could he process this? Memories collided with present pain, a jagged puzzle that would never quite fit again. The room around him began to blur, and it took all his strength to focus on the emptiness that consumed him. "Can I see her?" he finally asked, urgency edging into his tone. "Please, I need to see her." The doctor nodded, understanding etched on his face. "Of course, follow me." He stepped back, leading them toward the small room where his mother lay, adorned in sterile sheets and the quiet of 1,000 unspoken goodbyes. As they moved, Ryan could feel Sofia subtly squeeze his hand again, her silent encouragement. Each step felt heavier than the last. He had to steel himself for the sight of her, to muster what strength remained in him. He would show both her and Sofia that he could face this. He had to. When they entered the room, a deep stillness enveloped them. There, his mother lay, looking fragile and small, just a shadow of the vibrant woman who had raised him. Ryan's breath caught, and he stepped closer, letting go of Sofia's hand. "Mom," he whispered, his voice breaking. "It's me." Her eyes fluttered open slowly, and she blinked as if awakening from a long dream. A faint smile creased her lips, though it hardly reached her eyes filled with grief. "Ryan, you came." "Of course I came," he said, kneeling by her side, his heart breaking further as he grasped her thin fingers. "I'm right here." She squeezed his hand weakly, the warmth of her touch sending waves of memories crashing down on him. He pushed the image of Lily's judgmental smirk out of his mind. It didn't matter now. What mattered was this moment, this connection that can't be severed by anyone or anything. "I didn't want to bother you with my worries," she started, her voice brittle, barely audible. "Mom, please. Nothing you say could ever be a bother. You mean everything to me." Tears spilled from his eyes, a testament to the torment he now faced. At that moment, it wasn't just pain that filled the room, it was love. The kind that hurt, yet somehow held hope like a fire flickering in the dark. As she shifted slightly, Ryan held on tighter, willing her strength to pulse through their connection. "Just hold on," he pleaded, trying to keep the crack of desperation from his voice. "We'll get through this. I promise." But as the reality loomed over them like a relentless storm, a thought crept into his mind. If their time was truly running out, what would he sacrifice to keep her with him? The silence that followed was thick and oppressive, filled with questions that churned like a tempest in his mind. What could possibly come next? Ryan felt every second stretch as he sat by his mother's side, holding her frail hand, searching for the right words. The room was quiet, the sterile smell mingling with the faint scent of her perfume, a bittersweet reminder of better days. He didn't want to think about goodbyes, yet the thought was there, lurking in the corners of his mind, refusing to be brushed aside. "Mom," he started again, a shaky breath accompanying his words. "I wish things were different. I wish you didn't have to go through this." Each word felt like a stone dropped in a still pond, sending ripples across moments they had shared. She looked at him, her gaze heavy but not without warmth. "I've lived a full life, Ryan. I have no regrets except maybe not telling you how proud I am of you more often." His heart swelled at her words, yet the ache of her impending absence was a weight pulling him under. "I'm not ready, Mom. Can't we fix this?" There must be something. He trailed off, arms tightening around her hand, as if he could hold on to her against the tide. Her smile faded, replaced by a serene acceptance. "Sometimes fixing something means letting go, honey. I want you to remember me not as the woman lying here, but as the mom who chased you through the park, who cheered the loudest at every game." Ryan felt the warmth of those memories collide with the cold reality of the moment. Each cheer, each laugh echoed in his mind, a haunting melody. Silence fell again, punctuated only by the steady beep of the monitor behind her. Sofia quietly stepped further into the room, her presence a comforting balm. Without saying a word, she slipped her hand onto Ryan's shoulder, grounding him. He glanced up at her, grateful for her support in this agonizing moment. Is there anything I can do? Her voice was soft, filled with an understanding he couldn't articulate. Ryan met her gaze, desperation clawing at him. I don't know, Sof. I just wish. His voice trailed off. The what if hung in the air, an uninvited specter. Mom, if there's anything you need me to do, any last wishes? Tears escaped his mother's eyes, glistening like tiny pearls. Just love each other, okay? Take care of each other. With those words, a sob caught in Ryan's throat, choking him. It felt like a pact, a bond that would linger even when she was gone. A flicker of defiance stirred in him. I will, Mom. I promise. Sofia glanced at him, her eyebrows furrowing slightly. What about our plans, Ryan? What about plans can wait, he interrupted, voice sharp with emotion. This is what matters right now. For the first time, he felt he was holding on not just for himself but for her, for all the moments yet to come, even if they were only memories. As the hours slipped by, they shared stories, laughs mingled with tears as the evening grew darker. Each tale told was both a farewell and a celebration. Ryan lost track of how many times his mother smiled, how many memories they resurrected together from the past. But as much as he wanted the hours to stretch on infinitely, the numbness of time caught up to them. The beeping from the monitor began to slow, each sound striking his heart like a drum, the sound of something fading away. Mom, please don't. I can't, he whispered, fighting back the fear that threatened to drown him. Her eyes flickered, and for a moment, he believed she was still with him, clinging to life. But deep down, he sensed an inevitable shift, a change in the air, a whisper of what was to come. In that moment, Ryan realized, sometimes love is staying in the moment, but sometimes it's the painful acceptance that comes next. A realization settled in his chest, every heartbeat counted, every second was sacred, yet every second felt like it was slipping away. But what if, in that fleeting moment, she had something to share that would change everything? What if there was a secret she had been waiting to unveil, a revelation that could redefine him? As that thought crashed into his mind, he held her hand tighter, not ready for the storm, but needing to know. What could it be? Ryan's heart raced, each beat thunderous in the oppressive silence. The room felt smaller, like the walls were closing in, filled with anticipation and dread. He watched his mother's eyes close briefly, as if she were summoning strength from somewhere deep inside. Her frail frame appeared so small and fragile, yet it held a lifetime of wisdom and love. Sofia, he breathed, not taking his eyes off his mother. What do you think? What do I do if she tells me something? Sofia's hand tightened on his shoulder. Just listen. Whatever it is, you can handle it. You've handled so much already, Ryan. Her voice was steady, reassuring, but he could see the worry mirrored in her eyes. Ryan's eyes darted back to his mother, hoping, praying for a sign. He had so many questions swirling in his head like leaves in a storm. What could possibly be said that might shift the ground beneath his feet? Would it be about family? Love? A hidden truth? With each thought, his mind raced further down the corridors of possibility. Ryan? His mother's voice pulled him back, soft but stronger. There's something I need to tell you, a truth I've held onto for too long. His breath hitched. She was finally going to reveal it. That unspoken weight, the thing that had lingered just beneath the surface, was about to burst forth like a dam finally cracking. What is it, Mom? His voice cracked, urgency lacing his words. You can tell me anything. The tears in her eyes shimmered as she looked at him, then glanced at Sofia before settling back on her son. You were always meant for great things, Ryan. But there's more to your story, more than you know. He felt panic rise in the back of his throat. You're scaring me, he admitted, trying to steady himself as the beeping slowed further. Please, don't be afraid, she urged, her voice catching. You have to understand, I wasn't just your mother. There's a part of me you don't fully know. I grew up in ways and circumstances that shaped me, and eventually shaped you. He blinked, grappling with her words. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Inside, he felt the ground shifting, unsteady and unsure. I made choices, Ryan. Choices to protect you. You come from a world that would surprise you and your family, they're more than you can imagine. She paused, her breathing becoming labored, forcing Ryan to swallow the rising tide of emotion threatening to spill over. Mom, he choked out. Your family, they weren't just the folks you grew up seeing, visiting on holidays. There are others, people you've never met who care. It's complicated, and I feared this moment. But you deserve to know your true heritage. His thoughts flashed to moments he took for granted, the feel of his mom's hugs, the laughter over dinner, the life lessons learned in small, quiet moments. Now, it felt like they were burning into ashes, replaced by this new, disorienting revelation. The monitor began to beep erratically, and his heart raced in sync. Mom! Please hold on. He grasped her hand tighter, desperation spilling over. I love you, Ryan, she whispered, a faint smile breaking through her pain. No matter who else is out there, you're still my son. That will never change. I love you too, he gasped, feeling the weight of her words sink in. But there was something more pressing in that moment, the realization that a part of him might never be the same again, looming like a shadow above them. Just as quickly as her expression softened, it seemed to cloud over as exhaustion washed over her. Promise me, she began, her voice barely a whisper. I promise, Mom. Just please, don't go. Each passing second felt like a new beginning and the end of an era all at once. But there was something still waiting, hanging in the air, already shaping the path of his future, and then it hit him, a singular thought echoing in the silence. What would he find when the truth was finally laid bare? With that question rushing through him, he leaned closer, determined to grasp every last moment and every last revelation that would spill forth. Ryan leaned in even closer, his breath catching in his throat as he felt the chilling grip of uncertainty take hold. He was all too aware that the words about to escape his mother's lips could upend everything he believed about himself, about his identity and family. Mom, you can tell me, he urged softly, his hands trembling around hers. Every second felt like an eternity as her gaze drifted away, seemingly lost to another world. With great effort, she pulled herself back to him, her voice grave yet tender. I've carried this burden for so long, Ryan. Your father, he's not who you think he is. Not in the way you've been led to believe. He has another life, one he never wanted you to discover. The air thickened, and Ryan's heart sank. What do you mean? Are you saying he's not my real father? The words tasted bitter on his tongue, and the reality felt like a foreign concept. She squeezed his hand, trying to convey love and reassurance through the gesture. He loves you fiercely, Ryan, but there's more than just love. There are obligations and a legacy that impacts us both. He's a man with secrets, and I wanted to shield you from the truth. The implications swirled around him. Ryan thought of all the times he had looked up to his father, the proud moments, the warm exchanges. Was it all a facade? Why now? Why tell me this? His mother sighed, fatigue etched all over her face. Because the truth has a way of coming out, and I can't allow you to be blindsided by it when you're older. You need to understand what you're a part of, and the decisions that shaped our lives. Who are these people I'm related to? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. It felt surreal to distance himself from everything he ever knew, only to walk headfirst into a bigger mystery. Your family, it's complicated, she breathed, her expression twisting with pain. There's wealth and power, things that can create rifts beyond your imagination. But there's also love, and they are proud of you. Proud? It seemed like an alien idea in the storm of emotions consuming him. What did it mean to come from a place of privilege when his life had felt so ordinary? He needed something to hold on to, some sliver of clarity amidst the chaos. Mom, what if I can't handle it? What if it changes everything? Her eyes glimmered with tears. It will change things. But sweetheart, you'll remain the same at heart. That's what truly matters. Your spirit, your compassion, that's your inheritance. Don't lose sight of that. The monitor beeped again, its rhythm chaotic against the backdrop of their fragile moment. Ryan could feel the weight of the truth settling in, a great burden that threatened to consume their serene connection. "Promise me something," she said, her voice trembling with urgency. "Anything," he replied, leaning in closer, desperate for reassurance. "Don't forget who you are, no matter what happens next. You are strong. You are good, and you have so much love surrounding you, even if it doesn't look like what you thought it would." Ryan nodded, but his heart was at war with his mind. The fear of discovering who he was meant to be versus who he thought he was gnawed at him. He took a deep breath, steadying himself against the tide of emotions crashing in, and then, just as suddenly as the conversation began, the room fell silent. All he could hear was the steady beeping of the monitor, punctuating the weight that hung heavily in the air. He squeezed his mother's hand tighter, pushing back his panic, seeking hope in those fleeting moments. What was next? Would he be strong enough to confront this newfound reality? Would he be willing to dig deeper into the truth, even if it shattered the life he had always known? As the questions loomed, an unsettling anticipation filled his chest, hinting that this was just the beginning. Ryan took a breath, steeling himself for the storm that was sure to come. Would he rise to meet his destiny, or hide away from everything he never thought possible? The time for the answers would come soon, but for now, it felt like destiny was knocking at his door. The hospital room felt both eternal and fleeting. Ryan held his mother's frail hand tightly, feeling the weight of everything she had just shared. Each word hung in the air like an unshakable truth, pulling at the heartstrings of his reality. As a wave of emotion crashed over him, Ryan looked into his mother's eyes, searching for a sign that everything would be all right. "Mom, I don't know what to do with all of this," he confessed, his voice shaking with anguish. "You're my family. That's what matters, right?" A faint smile glimmered through her pain. "You'll always be my son, Ryan. No matter who or what surrounds you, that bond can never break. But you have to choose your path. Take what you know, use it, and fill the world with love." Her voice faded, and he felt fear creeping back in. "Hold on, Mom. You have to stay with me," Ryan urged, squeezing her hand tighter, anchoring himself in her warmth. But as he sat there, the steady beep of the monitor began to falter, slowing rhythmically, rising and falling, as if echoing his tumultuous emotions. Suddenly, the door swung open, and a nurse glided in, her expression professional yet soft. As she approached, Ryan's heart dropped. "It looks like it might be time," she said quietly. "No," he breathed, panic clawing at his throat. "Not yet. She can't go." Not after everything. The words stung his heart, but he realized they needed to focus on what truly mattered. "Ryan," his mother whispered, her voice growing weaker. "Don't fight this. This can't be the end of our story, your story. I want you to remember this moment, all of it. Embrace your future and the love you found." Tears streamed down Ryan's cheeks as he looked at the woman who held his heart. "But Mom," words caught in his throat. "I need you. I can't do this without you." "You can," she whispered fervently, a flicker of strength pouring through her. "You're stronger than you know. Sofia, I can feel how much you love her. That love will guide you. You must follow it, Ryan. It's okay to build a life on love instead of fear." Just then, Sofia entered, her eyes swollen with concern but bright with determination. She approached tenderly, her gaze shifting from Ryan to his mother, who smiled faintly at her. "Thank you for being here," she managed, gaze locking with the nurse. With a heavy heart, Ryan looked between the two women who defined his world. "I'll take care of her. I promise," he vowed softly, placing his other hand over his mother's. A deep breath rattled through her chest, and she whispered, "I can't hold on forever. Find your family, Ryan. Even if it's not what you imagined, embrace every challenge. Those who love you will always be your family, blood or not. Emotion descended like a tide, threatening to swallow him whole. Gripping Sofia's hand tightly, he faced the swell of uncertainty ahead. But what do I do with the truth of who I am? It's all so much. Just be you, Sofia replied, her voice raw yet steady, filled with unwavering conviction. The world will always have expectations. You have the choice to either let them define you or to create your own path. Forgive your father if you can. Understand him, even if it takes time. His mother nodded, a gentle swell of encouragement washing over her. That's right. You can build a legacy, a new one. Filled with truth. Filled with love. With each second, it felt as though their shared hope illuminated the thick shadows of uncertainty. Ryan glanced at the heart monitor, the beeps had slowed further. Mom, please don't go. There has to be something. A single tear escaped her eye, glistening like a fragile thread. No more fighting. I'm tired, Ryan. You'll feel me in the warmth of the sun. In the laughter of people who love you fiercely. Trust in that. Always. His mother's strength began to fade, her breathing slowing even further, and Ryan's heart shattered anew. I love you, Mom. I always will. Thank you for everything, he whispered, feeling the magnitude of finality pressing down like a heavy blanket. They shared a small, bittersweet smile, and in that moment, he felt the weight of every memory they shared wrap around them like an unbreakable bond. With one last exhale, a stillness settled over her, threading between the chaos of life outside. Ryan closed his eyes, desperate to hold on to the sound of her voice, refusing to let go of that bond. Consumed by loss yet buoyed by a newfound understanding of love, Ryan felt the pieces of himself rearranging, forming a mosaic of courage and resilience. He opened his eyes, heart raw yet emboldened, glancing at Sofia, who was still standing next to him, her presence a lifeline amidst turmoil. As they faced the uncertain road ahead together, he knew one thing was clear: they would carve their own path. They would fight for their love and family in whatever form it took. And through his mother's last words, Ryan sensed that hope would guide them. With Sofia by his side, they were ready to meet the new dawn. This was just the beginning, but Ryan felt the air shift with an abundance of possibility. He would carry his mother's love with him always, letting it inform each step he took. Because in the end, love was not defined by blood or wealth, but by affection, compassion, and a bond built through shared experiences. With that, he tightened his grip on Sofia's hand, ready to step into a world that once felt suffocating but now brimmed with promise. Let us go, he said, voice steady with resolve, letting hope overshadow fear, and together, they ventured forth into the light toward a future they would build as a family forged through love and truth. If you felt the transformation in Ryan and Sofia's journey, now is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that inspire hope and love. Don't wait not even one more second to share this journey. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, helping others experience this powerful story. Comment how Ryan and Sofia's choices resonated with you and share your feelings about this ending. And remember, true fans understand the importance of these actions. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support means everything.